You wear your heart on your sleeve like a badge of honor, not realizing it's actually a target painted on your chest. Every emotion flickers across your face like an open book. Every thought spills from your lips before you can stop it. Every reaction broadcasts your vulnerabilities to those who study you like predators study prey. You've convinced yourself that transparency equals authenticity, that openness equals strength. But tonight, the truth cuts deeper. Your readable nature has made you controllable, predictable, and ultimately powerless in every room you enter. You think you're being genuine when you laugh too loudly at jokes that aren't funny, when you rush to fill awkward silences with nervous chatter, when you explain your motivations to people who never asked. But what you call authenticity, they call opportunity. What you call vulnerability, they call weakness. What you call connection, they call conquest. You've built a transparent prison around yourself, and the bars are made of your own desperate need to be understood, to be accepted, to be seen as the good person you believe yourself to be. Every day you wake up and put on this performance of radical honesty, thinking it makes you superior to those who hold their cards close to their chest. But here's what you haven't realized yet. Transparency without strategy is not virtue. It's suicide. Your emotional availability has become your Achilles heel, and everyone in the room knows exactly where to aim their arrows. While you reveal everything, they reveal nothing. While you speak, they listen. While you react, they observe. You've been so focused on being understood that you never learned the art of understanding others first. They sit in corners, behind masks of strategic silence, cataloging your tells, memorizing your patterns, mapping your emotional landscape like generals studying enemy territory. Your transparency has given them a blueprint to your soul, and they use it to navigate around your defenses with surgical precision. You think you're engaging in meaningful dialogue when you share your fears, your dreams, your insecurities with near strangers, but you're actually conducting a masterclass in how to manipulate you. They take notes while you speak, mental notes that will be referenced later when they need to push your buttons, pull your strings, or simply move you out of their way. You've been performing vulnerability while they've been practicing invisibility. You've been seeking approval while they've been gathering intelligence. You've been trying to build bridges while they've been constructing weapons from the very materials you've provided. They know your triggers because you've shown them. They know your weaknesses because you've confessed them. They know your limits because you've demonstrated them repeatedly. And all the while, you remain completely in the dark about who they really are, what they really want, and what they're really capable of doing to get it. Machiavelli understood what you're only beginning to glimpse. Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. The prince who shows all his cards loses the game before it begins. Power doesn't announce itself. It whispers. Authority doesn't explain itself. It simply is. The moment you become readable, you become manageable. The instant others can predict your moves, they can counter them. Your emotions displayed so freely become weapons in their hands and chains around your neck. You think you're being authentic when you wear your political opinions on your shirt, when you broadcast your relationship status on social media, when you discuss your financial struggles at dinner parties. But authenticity without boundaries isn't connection. It's exposure, and exposure without protection isn't vulnerability, it's victimization. The truly powerful understand that mystery is not deception, it's preservation. They know that some truths are too valuable to be given away for free, that some aspects of the self are too sacred to be subjected to public scrutiny. You've been giving away state secrets to foreign nations, thinking you're building diplomatic relations. You've been handing over military intelligence, believing you're fostering trust. But trust is earned through consistency, not confession. Respect is gained through competence, not capitulation. The Machiavellian doesn't hide who they are out of shame. They protect who they are out of wisdom. They understand that the moment you become fully known, you become fully controlled. Your transparency has transformed you from a player in the game into a pawn on the board, moved around at will by those who understand the rules you never learned to follow. Notice how the room shifts when the unreadable person finally speaks. Their words carry weight because they're scarce. Their opinions matter because they're rarely given. Their presence dominates because their thoughts remain their own until they choose to share them. You fill silence with nervous chatter. They let silence work for them. You explain yourself constantly. They let others fill the void with their own interpretations. Your need to be understood has made you common. Their mystery has made them magnetic. When they enter a room, conversations pause. When they leave, discussions begin. People dissect their few words, analyze their subtle expressions, theorize about their true thoughts and feelings. Meanwhile, your constant stream of consciousness has become background noise, as forgettable as elevator music, as ignorable as white noise. You've mistaken volume for value, frequency for importance, availability for desirability, but the human psyche craves what it cannot easily obtain, treasures what it cannot fully understand, and obsesses over what it cannot completely control. They've become the puzzle people want to solve, while you've become the book everyone has already read. Your transparency has made you predictable, and predictability is the death of fascination. They speak in measured tones about carefully chosen topics, while you ramble about everything and nothing with equal intensity. They offer glimpses of their inner world, like rare gifts, while you've turned your psyche into a public exhibition that anyone can visit for free. You wonder why your words don't carry the same weight, why your presence doesn't command the same attention, why your absence doesn't create the same void. It's because you've made yourself too available, too knowable, too completely understood. Every uncontrolled reaction is a confession of your internal state. Every defensive response reveals what truly wounds you. Every angry outburst shows exactly where your buttons are located. You've been leaking emotional intelligence like a broken dam, and they've been collecting it like precious water in the desert. Your transparency isn't vulnerability, it's strategic suicide. Your openness isn't connection, it's the surrender of your psychological sovereignty to those who would use it against you. When someone criticizes your work, you immediately launch into a detailed explanation of your process, your struggles, your intentions, but your justification tells them more about your insecurities than your original work ever could. When someone challenges your opinion, you escalate, emotionally, proving that your convictions are built on shaky ground rather than solid foundation. When someone ignores you, you try harder to get their attention, broadcasting your neediness like a radio signal that everyone can tune into. You think you're standing up for yourself, but you're actually teaching others exactly how to tear you down. You think you're defending your position, but you're actually revealing your weak spots. You think you're asserting your worth, but you're actually advertising your wounds. Every emotional leak gives them more ammunition, more leverage, more power over your psychological state. They've turned social interaction into performance art, and you're still trying to have genuine conversations. While you seek connection, they create intrigue. While you pursue understanding, they cultivate mystique. Their words carry multiple meanings. Their expressions reveal nothing definitive. Their intentions remain beautifully unclear. This isn't deception. This is power. This isn't manipulation. This is mastery. Watch how they deflect inquiries with questions of their own, how they redirect curiosity back toward the curious, how they remain perpetually unknowable while knowing everything about everyone else. You answer before you're asked, explain before you're questioned, justify before you're accused. They let others project their own meanings onto their silence, their own interpretations onto their expressions, their own fears and desires onto their mysterious presence. When someone asks them a personal question, they respond with what makes you curious about that. When you leave a room, people forget you were there. When they leave, people wonder where they went. Your presence is constant and therefore taken for granted. Their presence is selective and therefore treasured. You make yourself available, accessible, readable. They make themselves scarce, mysterious, impossible to fully grasp. Your face has become a window into your soul, and everyone is looking through it. Your reactions have become a roadmap to your weaknesses, and everyone is following the directions. It's time to build walls, not to shut people out, but to create space where your true self can exist without constant scrutiny. This isn't about becoming cold or calculating. It's about becoming sovereign. It's about understanding that some things are sacred precisely because they remain unseen. You've been living in a glass house, performing your authenticity for an audience that doesn't deserve front row seats to your internal experience. Every emotion that crosses your face becomes public property. Every thought that escapes your lips becomes common knowledge. Every reaction you display becomes a lesson in how to manipulate you more effectively next time. But sovereignty begins with the recognition that your inner world belongs to you, and you alone decide who gets access to it. This isn't about building a fortress to keep everyone out. It's about constructing gates that you control, doors that open only when you choose to unlock them, windows that reveal only what you decide to show. The emotionally sovereign person understands that their feelings are their own private weather system, not a public broadcast that everyone gets to comment on. Their thoughts are their own private library, not a public forum where anyone can browse the content. Their reactions are their own private responses, not a public performance that others can critique or manipulate. You've been giving away the keys to your kingdom to anyone who showed the slightest interest in ruling it. But true power comes from learning to be the sole architect of your emotional landscape, the only curator of your psychological exhibition, the exclusive gatekeeper of your inner sanctuary. Some conversations are too important to have with people who haven't earned the right to hear them. Some emotions are too valuable to waste on people who won't honor them. Some aspects of yourself are too precious to expose to those who might use them against you. You're beginning to understand now, aren't you? The power that flows to those who reveal nothing while absorbing everything. The authority that belongs to those who remain unreadable while reading everyone else like children's books. This transformation isn't about becoming someone else. It's about concealing who you really are until you choose to reveal it. It's about understanding that your thoughts, emotions, and reactions are currencies that lose value the moment you spend them freely. You're starting to see how they move through the world differently, how they carry themselves with the quiet confidence of someone who knows things others don't, how they speak with the measured authority of someone whose words have weight, because they're not wasted on trivial conversations. They understand that information is power, and they've been collecting it while you've been distributing yours for free. They know that emotional intelligence is leverage, and they've been accumulating it while you've been giving yours away without compensation. They recognize that psychological insight is influence, and they've been gathering it while you've been broadcasting your inner workings to anyone within earshot. This awakening isn't comfortable. It's the moment you realize you've been playing checkers while everyone else has been playing chess. You've been operating from a rule book that no longer serves you, following a code of conduct that others have abandoned, maintaining a level of transparency that has become your greatest liability. But this realization is also your liberation. It's the moment you understand that you can change the game, that you can rewrite the rules, that you can transform from someone who is read into someone who does the reading. The power you've been giving away so freely has been there all along, waiting for you to recognize its value, claim its potential, and wield it with the wisdom that comes from finally understanding its true worth. From this moment forward, your inner world becomes classified information. Your emotional responses become strategic choices rather than involuntary reactions. Your thoughts remain yours until you decide they serve your interests by being shared. You no longer fill uncomfortable silences. You let them work for you. You no longer explain yourself to those who haven't earned explanations. You no longer react predictably to those who study your patterns. This is your conscious decision to step back from the transparent life you've been living and into the strategic existence you're choosing to create. When someone asks you a probing question, you pause and consider whether answering serves your purpose or merely satisfies their curiosity. When someone tries to provoke an emotional response, you decide whether engaging benefits you or simply entertains them. When someone seeks to categorize you, label you, or define you, you remember that their need to understand you is their problem, not yours to solve. You begin to speak less and observe more, realizing that the person who talks the most learns the least about others, while teaching the most about themselves. You start to respond rather than react, recognizing that reactions